moving to London at that crucial age at 16 and then going to a school where it was predominantly white. I was one of 4 brown girls in a class of 100, which was quite difficult looking back now. But at that time, I think that's what made me very aware of my body. Being a minority in that classroom was quite difficult. And so I think that, coupled with just the stress of relocating, of being a teenager, of school, I think that all became focused on my eating. And it was then that I developed an eating disorder.
A lot of our communities still idealize bodies that are slender and fair or have curves in the right places, for example. If we talk more about body image specifically, like I mentioned, we've got the ideal thinness and the ideal whiteness, things around pigmentation, increased facial hair, body hair, which is obviously, darker on darker bodies, which makes them more visible. There's a number of things that are quite specific to Muslim communities as well as South Asian communities or ethnic communities, which can add like a additional distinct layer of difficulties.
The issues with my eating and my body have always been apparent since I was a toddler, and they've just exacerbated in different areas of my life, in my early teens, in my adult years, and obviously now in my mid-30s. Being a Sikh British woman, for me it's quite complex in my culture, because eating disorders, people still don't know about that in my culture. People don't know what body dysmorphic disorder is in my culture, let alone mental health and well-being.
Putting a significant importance on the way that you look, even if it is detrimental to your mental health and your daily life, is sometimes praised because of what I said, the ideal thinness and the ideal whiteness.
The community is very focused on physical appearance and being perfect generally, especially women. I would say that every conversation circled around your weight. And that was really difficult, especially as someone who was fluctuating in her weight a lot. Like after I got help and after I was in therapy for my bulimia, I began to gain weight. I would go to gatherings and I would hear people saying, "Oh, you've gained a little bit of weight now." And just really like being so overwhelmed, going to the toilet and crying.
A lot of people who experience eating difficulties and body image issues, they often hide behind the modest and loose clothing. So, if people, say that they've lost weight or, it can be quite difficult to tell because of the modest clothing. If you have curves, no matter how modest you dress, you're still going to be able to see those curves. And that can sometimes be exacerbated in the Muslim community because a lot of sisters, a lot of women will be told, like, you're not dressing modestly enough because we can still see your curves, for example.
I hadn't seen anyone talk about these things. I didn't know what the options were, where I can reach out to someone. Can I reach out to someone? I didn't even know what was being offered in terms of help. All I thought was I had to tell an elder person. I had to tell my mum. But I do, looking back, wish that I had something that was just for myself at first.
I definitely say make time for you. The kinder you are to yourself will be reflected on who you are as a person, as well as the people that you are closely connected with. So do things that you're passionate about, a hobby or an interest. Baking, arts and crafts, journaling, reading. Every day is different for someone struggling with eating disorders. So please take the time to hear them out. Please be there for them. And for that person suffering with eating disorders, know that there is hope at the end of the day.
Part of our support at First Step CD is communicating with our service users about their own individual cultural norms, values and beliefs. And when supporting a service user, we will always discuss and consider how their cultural and religious differences may impact their eating disorder and the recovery. At First Steps, there is a range of support options available to anyone struggling with disordered eating or body image concerns. This includes one-to-one support options, counselling, psychotherapy, workshops, and also a befriending scheme and a parent carer pathway. Eating disorders can affect anyone, regardless of religion, ethnicity, gender, age, and at First Step CD, we want anyone struggling to feel as though they can reach out.